Hey everyone, it's another week. Yay! We'll just jump right into it. Last week was good. I've had so much going on in my performance career. Well, I don't know, just like lots of artsy stuff. So on Friday, I went with a friend to see Les Mis at one of the. It's a really high-end community theater in this area. It's called Hale Center Theater. And it was pretty good. There were some things about it that I think struggled a little bit, but overall it was really nice. They usually do their plays to a track. They do the musicals to a track, so there's no orchestra. And just something that kind of struggled about it is a lot of the cast was behind a lot during it all, and that was kind of frustrating to hear, especially considering that it's such a difficult story to catch if you don't enunciate really well and you're not really telling the story with your words. So that was kind of hard, and I think there were a couple people who I really felt understood the characters, but by and large it was kind of a little bit watered down. But it's community theater. For a community theater production, it was really incredible. And Saturday night, oh my gosh, I went to the best jazz show. It was so good. John Pizzarelli and his band, he's a guitarist, jazz guitarist. He's incredible. It was so good that I felt bad. Does that make sense? It was just like, when you see people who do things that you do just so phenomenally that it's inspiring and frustrating at the same time, thinking like, how could I ever get there? Can I ever get there? Really good. He's also incredibly funny. Just the show all together was so smooth and hilarious. His father, Bucky Pizzarelli, is an incredible jazz guitarist too. So he just grew up knowing all these jazz greats, and so he had all these awesome stories. Like he's played for Paul McCartney, and he knew Louis Armstrong. Just name dropping like nobody's business. So good. Yeah, that was super inspiring and amazing. It made me think like, I need to spend more time practicing. They were great. Sunday was lovely. Sunday is always nice. It's a good time to just like relax but also to like refresh myself spiritually and feel close to God again and think about things that I need to change and do better on. Yeah, Sunday was lovely. Monday, I woke up sick, so I canceled my students and I slept in. And I worked on a scene for a callback. Oh yeah, I guess the audition was on Saturday. I auditioned for Arsenic and Old Lace at this community theater. They do have it set up to do guest contracts for equity performers. I don't really hope to do shows with them though, just because I'm a young, white 20-something, like cute 20-something, and I cost this much, and there's tons of qualified, young, cute 20-somethings who only cost this much. So, yeah, they're not really completely set up for equity stuff. But the initial audition was really good. I felt great about it, and then I got a callback. My callback, I felt really not very good about. I was prepared. I don't think I made enough, I didn't really make an interesting choice. And then they had like really sad feedback for me, like project. I was like, oh, great, project, duh. But it was good. It was good. I enjoyed it. I don't expect to hear from them, but I would be so much more expensive for them in general. Like I don't ever expect to hear. It's just kind of to keep myself going and to be learning new material and practicing going to auditions. But then after that, I went straight to a family home evening, which is like for in our church, Monday night is the designated family night. It's just you're encouraged to stay home with your family on that night. And since I'm not married and I don't have like kids and family to have family night with, unless I hung out with my parents, which I do all the time, like, you know. For singles, they have like large activities on Monday nights that you can go to, and we went to the coolest family home evening. It was so good. This gentleman named Martin Fry, Frey. He is really high in business management. He got his MBA from Harvard, and apparently is a really amazing sailor. But he came to talk to us about the fact that he has climbed the 7 summits of the world and what it took to do that, and how those principles have applied into his career and his family life and his home life. And oh, it was such a good talk, just so good. And I've been thinking about getting an MBA, and so afterward I made the effort to go up and talk to him and ask him his opinion. I'm looking at doing an online MBA so that I don't have to stop auditioning and stop pursuing performance, and I can still get the MBA. And I talked to him a little bit about it, got some advice on it. His primary things were, like, you know, make sure that you can network, and then also make sure that that's a good learning environment for you. It was just really inspiring guy, really interesting to listen to him talk about how his spiritual life and his living the gospel has really helped him to accomplish amazing things. Yeah, really awesome person. I sent him an email afterwards. I really hope to kind of keep in touch with him and like, ask him questions in the future for when I have things that I'm wondering about. I think he'd be a good mentor. I haven't heard back from him, so we'll see. Oh, and then after family home evening, I kind of got into this weird situation. I have a good friend that we don't get to see each other very often, but she's a really good friend of mine, and she and some mutual friends invited me to go hot tubbing after this thing. And so I was going to give her a ride over, and we got in the car, and I had no idea, but she kind of got into this conversation telling me that she's been dating one of my most recent ex for the last 4 months. And I didn't know they were dating, so that was kind of like, it's been a kind of a hard guy to get over, so it was kind of a little bit of a shock, like, oh, okay, we've been together a long time. And then she asked me advice on some things about their relationship, and just advice on kind of whether or not she should break up with him. And I handled it fine. It was just one of those situations where your stomach kind of goes, and your head goes, like, do the right thing, say the right thing. Like, don't be a nasty ex, and don't go the other way either, and push her to stay with him if you think her concerns are legitimate. I don't know, but I was thinking about it today, like, as an actor, like, it's one of those things that you see a scene of that, and it's like, ooh, that's so high stakes and so emotionally charged. I'd love to play that scene, but in real life, you're like, ooh. So, and it's fine. Like, she's a really good friend of mine, and I was with him a long time ago, so it's not a thing. But it was just kind of interesting, and I don't know what she ended up deciding. Hopefully she'll make the right choice. She's a really smart person and good, amazing girl, and I love her. So that happened. Tuesday, which is yesterday, I stayed home again. I stayed home from work again. I canceled my students, and just kind of slept in and was like grubby, sick. Like, you can probably hear that I'm sick. But I stayed home, but in the afternoon, I went to this really awesome seminar by this gentleman. His name's Corky Kessler. He is an attorney for film and entertainment law. And the purpose of it was just to kind of, he was giving independent filmmakers advice on how to avoid financial pitfalls when you're producing your own work. It was really so interesting. I've never really learned much about that, or I guess I've had a lot of questions about that, and there were very few people there. It was a free class. There were maybe like 5 of us there, and I asked a ton of questions. Nobody else really had questions, and I wondered if maybe it was that I was kind of novice in that area, but I think that it's important to know as much as you can about the industry from all sides. And I also know that as an actor, I feel the most powerful when I am producing my own work and doing my own stuff, because a lot of being an actor is like not begging, but always asking for work, always asking for work. And if you go, whenever you have a long stint without doing work, you get creatively starved. Like, you really need opportunities to create and to explore things acting wise. Which is why taking a class is really nice. Kind of keeps you in shape and keeps you going. And part of why I audition at places even who can't afford an equity actor. But yeah, producing your own work, I think, gives you a lot of power. Yeah, and then last night I went to acting class. We're doing a scene from American Horror Story, and I got to I'm playing this dead girl right now, and I have this fake knife, and we're playing with it. It's really fun. I feel like horror would be really, really fun to be in, but I actually hate horror movies. I can't handle them. There's like, it's too evil for me. And I think my imagination is so active that seeing horror movies, and like a lot of it is like not seeing certain things that make them scary, and my imagination will just go so far, and yeah, I can't handle it. So yeah, that was last week. Really eventful week. Today I practiced all of my instruments. I really wish I could practice more. I need to kind of work on my schedule and make that more of a priority, and spend more time honing my craft as an instrumentalist and also as an actor. I did some acting work today. And then tonight I'm going over to Rob, so hopefully we'll be able to finish Aloha. I'd really like to release that as an EP, but I need to figure out what else I want to put on it. I think Stay With Me would fit really well on it. Other than that, I need to think of something else that's sort of beachy. Because Aloha's really beachy, and so is Stay With Me. So maybe, I don't know, we'll see. I could always write something, right? That's what I do. Friday night, I'm playing at Awful Waffle in Provo, so if you're in Provo, come. It's kind of an early set. It's at 7 o'clock on Friday, Awful Waffle. It's going to be fun. And then hopefully hanging out with some friends, or my sister and her husband afterward. Saturday, I'm meeting with Brian. We're still going through song selection for our kind of folk session. I had suggested him, kind of was talking to him about the possibility of licensing the songs and actually throwing the covers up on YouTube. Not on YouTube, on iTunes. We're definitely doing YouTube. That's the plan. But just throwing things up on iTunes, I think, would be kind of nice. If then people like them, they can get them. If they don't, they don't. Saturday, I'm also feeding the homeless, which is kind of fun. I haven't done that for a really, really, really long time. Just going to a shelter and feeding the homeless. It's gonna be fun. What else? Monday will be Monday, and I don't have any big plans other than that. But yeah, it's been a really good week, more eventful than last week for sure. I also have been doing some really interesting spiritual work. There's this book, I have to remember, I think it's called Remembering Wholeness, no, it's called Feelings Buried Alive Never Die. And it's kind of based on this idea that your physical your physical body has ailments and problems based on emotional things and negative thoughts that you haven't gone through and dealt with. So it's been really interesting. Like, I've had some trouble with my hip, or like I've had like this sore throat, and I went through and kind of looked at the feelings that she has associated with those ailments, and they were just spot on. So I've been working on praying over those things and trying to release the negative feelings and replace them with positive feelings, or just just untruth replaced with truth. And it's been really, really helpful. It just solidifies to me the power of prayer. It's so real. I think sometimes I have a lot of friends who aren't religious, who don't really believe in God, or very firmly believe that He doesn't exist, and I respect that and I understand that, but my experiences just continue to prove to me that He's there and that He cares for me, and I'm really happy for that. I feel really blessed and secure, and a great amount of purpose in knowing that I know who I am, I know where I came from, and I know where I'm going. So, yeah, please feel free to leave a comment if you have any thoughts on what Brian and I should put in our session, or I don't know, just anything that you feel. Oh, bugs and loves. I didn't really get into that. I'm just going to say I love God, and I am bugged by negative feelings. Buggy. Yeah, that wasn't very prepared. Anyway, this is getting long, so thanks for tuning in. I hope that you're well, and if you have anything to say, please say it. Don't be mean to me, but say nice things. Awesome. Toodaloo. Until next week.